Hi, welcome to Dark Goddess Moon Tarot. I'm Olivia, and today we're of course going to pull tarot cards and oracle cards, maybe some charms, but like last video, we're going to start off with some channeled poetry that will kind of, I'm assuming, be a theme for today's reading. Okay. Light within, dark without. Dark within, light without. Which will win in the battle of your mind? Calm the storm, the seas are yours. Forever broken is no more. Beautiful. All right, so let's see what Spirit wants to say. If you are new here, at the end of the video, if you found that this resonated, please do give it a like and subscribe to join our soul family that we're creating here. And if you see any signs or synchronicities that I may happen to miss, please do drop them in the comments. There's a lot going on when someone's channeling information, so I have noticed I have been missing stuff. Feel free to share that in the comments. I do readings a little differently here. Sometimes I do spreads, but usually I just let Spirit pull cards for me and do whatever I'm guided to do. Okay, let's see what this is. The Devil. That's fun. Oh, I always forget about the nudity. I'm so sorry. Okay. To anyone who's not cool with that, please don't report me. I'm very sorry. Sorry, YouTube. Okay. So the Devil represents things we are holding on to that are no longer serving us. This could be energies. This could be thought patterns. Cycles, loops that we keep ourselves in, which ties into the poem, right? And then we have the World in reverse. So the World is completion of a cycle. And when we're holding on to the chains that bind us, we can't, nudity on this card too. We can't complete a cycle that we need to. We get stuck in this loop in our mind. Light within, dark without, dark within, light without. Which will win in the battle of your mind? So this is confirmation. Thank you, Spirit. So this likely could be tying to depression. Of course, please do talk to your doctor if you haven't already. And if you have been doing all of the things, talk therapy, perhaps prescription medications, physical exercise, all of the things they tell you, eating healthy, meditation. I did see Fool on the bottom of the deck, so new beginnings are coming. You could be doing all of the things or a combination of things, and you still feel that there is a storm within. That's okay. It's not going to last forever. So, Spirit, how can we... Six of Cups on the bottom of the deck. I was told to look at that. So, this is about facing childhood trauma or something in the past that ties into familial cycles, generational curses, breaking the generational curse, right? I don't know why I did air quotes, because I do believe I don't believe it's like a curse that someone else has put on the family, but it is like, it feels like a curse because it can feel like you're cursed in your life. Things just consistently over the years not working out. You're stuck in a cycle that you're unable to complete. You're stuck with chains that bind you. Devil. Have to return to the source. For many of us, that's our childhood and things we endured in it that no child should. Three of Swords, heartbreak. Queen of Swords in reverse and Five of Pentacles. So when the Queen of Swords is in reverse, she's not able to set her boundaries. Things are unclear. Five of Pentacles, feeling left out in the cold. Perhaps you feel like the world is leaving you behind, or you've been pushed out into the cold. This might be about speaking from personal experience. Often those of us that have experienced childhood trauma end up being in adulthood people pleasers as a coping mechanism, right? Like we've evolved to believe that we need to adapt to our surroundings for safety. And we do this subconsciously without realizing that that's what's happening. And the Queen of Swords being in reverse is a people pleaser. And we want to regain our sovereignty to complete this cycle. And in the Devil card, the chains that bind the people in the card are quite loose. They can take them off at any point. It is about establishing boundaries. Boundaries are healthy, and I think that a common misconception with the word boundaries is that it's like boundaries with other people, which in a sense, yeah, but it starts with creating boundaries for yourself. Because if you set a boundary for yourself, for example, I will not allow people in my life who cause me to feel like I am left out in the cold. So if you have a friend or friend group that does cause you to feel sort of like the outcast of the group, ostracized, maybe you're the butt of jokes, or you are being left out of certain things, or you get talked to in a certain way that maybe nobody else in the group gets talked to, that you've observed. Setting boundaries from the beginning. This is something my therapist taught me, is setting boundaries from the beginning is crucial. And if we just let stuff slide because we want to keep the peace, we want to prevent being left out in the cold, prevent losing our community, that can cause way more harm in the long run. Because if you don't set boundaries with yourself and understand what it is you are comfortable with accepting in your life and what it is you are not, then no one else is going to know, because you're letting stuff slide. And that's when the Queen of Swords is in the reverse. That's when we lash out with a very sharp tongue. And I just saw 9/11 on the timer, which is a number I've been seeing on the clock lately. So that may be confirmation for somebody. If anybody has a specific meaning they'd like to share in the comments for 9/11, 9/11 as an angel number or numerology, please do leave it in the comments. But that's what this is about. That's the battle in the mind. Once you establish a list of boundaries that you know are important and healthy for you, when you begin to form new friendships, you can teach people how to treat you. in a way that's not lashing out, in a way that's not condemning them as the devil. How do we get whoever is watching, all of the people watching this video, how do we get the collective to come out of this heartbreak, come out of this feeling like they're left behind out in the cold? You already said it, I'm hearing. Four of Wands in reverse. This has been showing up in collective readings lately. So, Four of Swords on the bottom. This is about spending more time with yourself. We want our community, our homecoming, our celebration with kin, I'm hearing. But it starts here. Maybe it's time for a hermit mode. If you're not already in one, if you're in one, it's confirmation that that's the right thing for you to do right now. If you're not already in one, consider that. And it's not about total isolation. If that's not right for you, if that's not doable for you, you know, you don't have to go into the caves and the mountains. Although that sounds great to me. It's not exactly doable, right, in our modern day world. King of Pentacles in reverse. Yeah. So when the court cards that are pentacles are in reverse, I mean, when they're upright, it's about being grounded. It's about a sense of knowing. But in reverse, it's not being grounded. And that's the Four of Swords, is telling you to ground. Anything else about the King of Pentacles in reverse, Spirit, that I didn't pick up on? Queen of Pentacles in reverse. Self-care. You need to do some self-care. Whatever that looks like for you, that's going to be different for everybody. And it may need to come in the form of several different ways, but what I'm hearing is taking care of the body. You might need to eat more vegetables and fruits and protein. And that doesn't need, if you're a vegan or vegetarian, that doesn't mean you need to eat meat. I've been vegan for over 10 years and I get plenty of protein. My B12 levels are great because I take a supplement. So don't think that if someone's telling you to eat more protein, it means you need to eat animals. Unless you do, then good. Good for you. Do what you need to do. Lean proteins, whether they're plant-based or animal-based, do what you need to do. Eight of Wands, you might need to be making this shift quickly. If you are vegan or vegetarian, you do have to supplement certain things. B12 is one of those things. You can get a plant-based source that's completely free of animals. It comes from algae. And I take the liquid form because I feel it absorbs the best. I get my levels checked at the doctor. And it's a blood test that you can get done if you're concerned about your B12. Someone here needs to be, I'm hearing, needs to look at their B12. B12, if you have a deficiency in vitamin B12, that can lead to depression or worsen depression. So you may be doing all the things. You may be on antidepressants. You may be working out and getting your exercise, but like something is still missing. Even if you eat meat, it's possible you're not getting enough B12, I'm hearing. So maybe you're not eating enough meat, or you just need to take a supplement. If you don't like meat, but you still eat it, you may need to supplement with the liquid B12. Check with your doctor first before starting any supplement, always, always, always. But they can give you a blood test and also ask other questions to see if that is a concern for you that you need to be concerned about. Whew. Thank you, Spirit. That came out of nowhere. Was not planning on talking about that at all. I mean, I don't really plan on talking about anything, but I think that as I'm starting these videos on this channel, it's like, okay, shadow work. I am very much about going into the deeper, darker levels, so that we can, you know, connect to the higher levels, our higher self. But that's a very like mundane, earthly thing, body thing, physical thing, coming out with the King and Queen of Pentacles in reverse. So that's for someone or a group of people that really needed clarity on that. So to sum that up, please check with your doctor. I am clearly not a doctor. And yeah, that's one that's very common. Another one is that you have to be really careful with not getting too much of or too little of is iron. If you're a plant-based person, and before starting that supplement or coming off of that supplement, check with your doctor, get a blood test, and then your doctor will be able to advise you on if that's necessary for you or not. It's completely possible to get enough iron on a plant-based diet. You know, eating iron-rich foods, greens. Talk to your doctor first, though. Duh, everyone knows that. We just have to say that as YouTubers, you know. Okay, what do we have? We have the Eight of Pentacles in reverse. So Eight of Pentacles is about hard work, diligence. Being in reverse, well, if you're not getting enough B12, you certainly don't feel like doing any hard work. But letting that go, we're going to disconnect from that B12 energy, is... Well, if you don't take care of your physical body, you can't do the physical work or the spiritual work. We are spiritual beings, but we are inhabiting a physical body right now. So we have to take care of the physical vessel. That's been a common theme too. Take care of the physical vessel. Hanged Man coming out sideways, with the Lovers on the bottom. So the Lovers can represent alchemy and getting a new perspective on what needs, let me cover up that nudity, on what needs to, well, it's perfect, it came out sideways. So what needs to shift around the perspective of the choices you need to make. What am I not seeing here? If you're vegan or vegetarian, let me know in the comments, just so that I don't have any vegan friends. It'd be cool to make some vegan friends. Knight of Swords just flew out. So, clarity coming in. Clarity coming in. So, this could be clarity about a new idea, or this could mean like quick thinking. Eight of Cups in reverse. Clarity or quick thinking when it comes to walking away from something, leaving something behind. Seven of Cups on the bottom of the deck. Illusions about options. What in the world, Spirit? What are these illusions? Maybe the illusion is that there are all these options, but really there's one that your soul knows and wants. Page of Cups in reverse. So Page of Cups in the upright knows deep down. A page is learning. The pages are learning. They're in the very beginning stages, right, of development. And page is emotional development and intuition development. Not just with ourselves, but also in connection with others. So in the reverse, there's something there that needs to be worked on. This could be, I see 3 of Pentacles here sideways. This could be working on like interpersonal relationships, coworkers could be a big one, but it could also be friends, friendship groups, or community of some sort. Wheel of Fortune on the bottom. So the wheel of fate and fortune is always spinning when you've been going through a really, really low period, and that can last for several years, to be honest, depending on what your journey is. It's going to turn at some point. That is just how the world works. So if you've been at the bottom for a long time, you won't be forever. The wheel is turning. What's their next step that they can take, or any sort of clarity to help sort of tie this all in together? I just heard, look at the poem. The Hermit in reverse. You do need, when it's in reverse, it can mean that you're spending too much time alone, but you know, with the 4 of Swords coming out, and with this lack of like being able to connect to your intuition, maybe it's not necessarily about isolating and being alone, but going within more in your alone time. Like, instead of maybe escapism, which we all do it, and it's like Queen of Cups in reverse again. She was in my last reading for the collective. You know, not something may be bothering you so much emotionally. The battle of your mind, which will win, the light or the dark. There's a storm inside, and the storm is going to be there stuck. You know, if you're in a bad place, your wheel is stuck, and the way to turn it is to go within. And I just feel like that is like really vague advice, though, Spirit. What do you mean by go within? Can you give us a more specific? Spending time with yourself, journaling about what it is that you... the 6 of Cups in reverse just popped in my mind again. So, childhood trauma healing, therapist, please get a therapist if you're able to. If that's something that's not accessible to you financially, work towards that. And if you've had a bad experience with a therapist before, or multiple therapists before, keep searching. If you are, I don't know how it works in other countries. There's probably a similar website, but in the US we have Psychology Today. That's how I found my therapist. I was able to like enter the specific types of trauma I have, and I found someone who I've been working with for 4 years now that has really changed the way that I think about myself and the world. And it's been a long journey, and it's not over. I hope to be able to have access to a therapist forever. It's a great way to bounce bounce ideas off and get a different perspective. The Hanged Man, get a different perspective. And it's kind of like when you begin the journey of childhood trauma recovery, it is like going into hermit mode. It's the hermit, like, and the hermit right now on my desk is halfway, you know, it's a sideways. So you're not isolated, you're not doing the work alone. You have someone. If you don't have access to that, there are a lot of wonderful therapists on YouTube that are doing childhood trauma recovery videos, and they give exercises and journaling prompts, and I'm being told to pull a journaling prompt right now, actually, from the Codex of Questions by Emily Rose. So she has a YouTube channel. I will link it in the description of this video, as well as a direct link to buy her deck from her website. This is, I feel, there's 80 journaling prompts in here. I feel this is a really great resource for if you are not a journaler and you don't know where to start. This is a really great resource because it is like a very much, it's a great way, that's a great way to do shadow work. It's a great way to do shadow work. It's a great way to think about things that maybe you wouldn't have known what to think about, what to journal about. I'm getting. So this really does tie in. That's so many, Spirit. That's too many. Let's try this again. I don't want to push anyone away here. Give them too much homework. Can I just have 1 to 3? 1 to 3. So I'm pretty sure Raven Relics is the name of her YouTube channel, but like I said, I will link it in the description. Okay, well, let's just see what's on the bottom of the deck. Are you putting into your relationships what you want to get out of them? Are you putting into relationships what you want to get out of them? And I'd like to add to that, if you are those relationships reciprocating? Are they reciprocating? Something to think about and journal about. Next one. A dream I had that I will never forget was... So I just actually started a dream journal. I have always hated my dreams. And to me, almost all my dreams are nightmares, but that is, and I used to think, before I got into spirituality, I'm like, oh, my brain just hates me, or, oh, like, I'm just one of those people that's always going to have gross, annoying dreams, or scary, or sad dreams. And it's like, oh no, honey, that's my subconscious trying to get me to work through some shit. So I just started a dream journal, and it's interesting because before I would like try to think about the dreams, I'd be like, that doesn't make sense. Sometimes I would Google it and like that there isn't even enough information about the type of shit I was dreaming about. And a lot of times it's vague and it doesn't make sense, and it's like scenarios or people that are going together that don't make sense. But the process of actually writing it out has been helpful for me. So someone will probably benefit from hearing that. And if you're not someone that likes to journal, like if you're like, nah, I'm too lazy for that, try to be creative with it. Like decorate your journal, you know, like do whatever you need to make it a fun process. Okay, the other card that popped out, what emotion are you currently suppressing, and what is it revealing that you need? So this is absolutely Queen of Cups in reverse. One of the many facets of that card. Are you suppressing one of your emotions and unable to, subconsciously, and unable to connect with your intuition as a result? Unable to calm the storm within your mind? That is one to really ponder. Okay, last one. What part of yourself do you want to get to know better? What part of yourself do you want to get to know better? Thank you, Spirit. If you do end up using these journaling prompts, let me know. You don't have to share what you journaled unless you just want to. But I think that, maybe that will help inspire others to get into it. And definitely check Emily's channel out. I really love her videos and her energy. And if Raven is one of your animals that you really feel drawn to, I just heard witch is familiar. If that's one of your, spirit guide animals, definitely check her channel out because, yeah, Raven Relics. Okay. We're going to wrap up the reading. And if this was helpful in any way, please do give the video a like so that I know it's reaching the people it needs to, and so that it can reach others of like mind. That's the whole point. We're here to build our soul family and heal together. So thank you for being here. Thank you for healing with me. Don't forget to subscribe so that you can be a part of this communal healing space that I'm hoping to build here. Until next time, I am sending you so much love. Take care.